What's going on, guys? Apathettic here with all your tips, recommendations, and everything in between. And in today's video, we are covering the Warlock ability you're using wrong, and that's the Empowering Rift. With the rise of 120s and now Dead Man's Tale, I'm sure you've been seeing a lot of more Empowering Rifts in the Crucible. The ability to 2-tap Guardians from across the map with ease makes Empowering Rifts an easy choice, especially when you think about all the other damage boosts you combine it with. But often in the Crucible, so many people aren't getting the most out of this Warlock ability, whether it be how they place it, use it when they are one-shot, or a host of other reasons. So I'm going to show you some of the biggest mistakes I see people make when using an Empowering Rift, and then show you how to use the Empowering Rift to improve your overall neutral game on Warlock. Before that, I also have a Discord for people to look at the team up, discuss builds, or ask questions, so consider joining the Discord using the link below if you're looking to connect with some like-minded Destiny players. With that, let's get into it. Starting with some of the things I see people often do wrong when using Empowering Rift is they'll go over to a box like this, and they'll go to drop their Empowering Rift, and they'll drop it out in the middle of nowhere. So yes, you could get closer to your cover here, but oftentimes people who drop it like this, they're just an easy target, and the person they're fighting is going to know they're stationary, and it's going to be a lot harder for them to win this fight, even though they have the damage boost going, because someone who's playing maybe these stairs right here on Javelin is going to be easily able to peek shot them. Another thing you want to be super aware of while using your Rift is that you want to make sure you're not using it while you're one shot. So if I pop my Rift right here and I'm peek shotting, I want to make sure that once I'm one shot, I'm not still trying to peek shot, not getting too greedy. Oftentimes this is what gets people killed, is they keep trying to peek shot or like coming out a little too far from their cover, and then they end up getting killed because they're not staying aware of their health, or again, they're getting too greedy. Pop that Rift. Remember that when you pop your Rift, you have 14 seconds. You take a couple shots and they're getting the best of you. You can sit there, wait, keep just paying close attention to your radar, and then back up, slide out into where you're still in your Rift. But I'm gonna say that's a nice little tip for later. But that's oftentimes what people do. They challenge too much when they're one shot. So making sure you're paying close attention to your health. The second you're down in that gunfight, you should be hiding behind cover and regaining your health. Now another thing, and this is the last thing or real big mistake that people tend to make, is they tend to use their Rifts at really bad angles. So a bad angle, in my opinion, would be something like right here. Someone will pop a Rift right here and they're playing this one angle. And so this is like a really narrow angle. There's not a lot you can see here. It's literally a wall. And so if you're playing a relatively good player, they're going to come peek around this corner, see you're in a Rift, and they're going to either slide down these stairs and push you really hard, or they're just going to wait until your Rift goes away. So making sure that when you're using your Rift, you're using it in longer angles. Something like here, like this corner right here, is a really good angle where you can kind of pay attention down both sides. And so for that, now that we've kind of talked about the things that you can do wrong, let's talk about the best ways to use it. And I've kind of given away right here, but playing long angles with your Rift and making sure that not only are you placing it in cover, but towards the edge of the cover. So you can place it in this corner and you'll still probably be able to peek out with your Rift right here. But if I put it towards the edge, you'll see the radius goes a lot farther out, and so I'm able to get just maybe if someone's on this right side, I can get them. And so this is what you want to do so you can play in that Rift longer. And then when you slide in, if you get hurt, you want to make sure you're giving enough space to slide out and still be in your Rift. So that's a great way you can slide out of cover and still be in your Rift and still 2-tap as you're sliding. A lot of times people will put their Rift way back here, you slide out, and now what? Guess what? You don't have your Empowering Rift. By putting out a little farther also allows you to slide out a little bit more. Now the other thing you want to do is when you're practicing, when you want to practice your peek shotting. So peek shotting and Empowering Rift when using cover is actually pretty OP. So you want to make sure you're just timing that shot. And a lot of people wait till they actually full on see their opponent. I'm just trying to time with like my reticle when I am peek shotting. So I'm almost timing it with like how my gun is falling. So I know it's shoot, and then as my gun's falling and it's resetting, but you can see there, I'm literally barely peek shotting. It's almost like I'm like curving my bullet. And so by putting Empowering Rift and mastering that peek shotting, you can do a ton of damage, but also take very minimal damage. And so that's something that takes a little bit of practice, a little bit of a rhythm. So make sure you're taking time to practice that either in PvE or just taking time to be intentional practicing it in the Crucible. Another thing, and I feel like this is somewhat common knowledge, but I'll share it anyway, is using your Rift's person mechanic to understand where your enemy is coming from, or understand like where they're going or if they're pushing or not, so you can prepare yourself. So For example, if someone's pushing me on at these stairs and I'm taking some shots and now I'm hurt, I want to pop my empowering rift so I can kind of flip the tides on this battle. But I can also pop it and like look over like this and understand, okay, they're not pushing, they're just playing the stairs, they're waiting for me. That also helps inform how I want to peek shot. So if I know they're just waiting, now I can peek shot, peek shot, peek shot, and hopefully I get that 2-tap. If they're pushing me, now I know to hug this box and either just try to take my guess, right? If I guess they're gonna jump over, then I'm gonna play right here close to the box. Or maybe I know they're pushing on the right side and then I slide out and shotgun. So using your rifts third person like that allows you to basically get a free 3-peek on them without using a sword and somewhat maintaining your dignity. So definitely a little bit of a pro tip right there. So as far as our last tip, and this one's gonna be more experience based and applies to multiple maps, is you really wanna learn what are the best angles on some of these maps to pop your rift. As we talked about before when we were talking about things not to do, you can pop a rift with a bad angle where you're just kind of staring at a wall. But an example of a good angle, and I'm using Javelin 4 as an example because it's gonna be the Trials map this weekend, and it's often the Trials map because it's a great map, is a spot right here. So you can pop where you have that cover. It's gonna be pretty hard for you to get shot over this wall, so you're pretty protected. I mean, they could directly jump, but it's pretty risky. And teams often come out right here on B, so you can push up with your whole team and easily just get a bunch of 2-taps right here to finish off your enemy. And likewise on the other side, you can pop a rift right here. People often come up at the top of these stairs since the spawn is on this side. So it's definitely 2 great rift spots. Very long kind of angles here, and you'll notice I'm not really exposed too much on other sides depending on where my enemy is, and I can really pay close to attention to my radar, so if someone starts pushing me I can rotate out of this rift. So making sure you're learning angles like that. Again, even like an angle like this is not bad, but again with the 120s, even when they get nerfed, you want to be a little bit further back because again it's just gonna be harder to really take someone down with an empowering rift because you're gonna be so close to them. This to me, in my opinion, is still a little bit too close. I would still want to play like a further angle. So if I was looking at this angle right here, maybe I pop a rift like right here, or if I'm playing down this angle right here, which teams often do, I would pop it right against this wall and then I can peek shot. Boom, boom, 2 angles right here. Very clean. And so just keep that in mind when you're using empowering rifts. I see a lot of people try to use their empowering rifts and they just get completely destroyed in them. So you want to make sure that you're popping in your cover, practicing your peek shotting, and really understanding what are the best angles, the most optimal angles for your empowering rift. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. I know this was like a quick and dirty tutorial, but again, empowering rifts is one of the most powerful abilities in the game in my opinion, and is a big reason why you see a lot of people using Warlock, especially because of 120s and DMT like I talked about earlier. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed, and don't forget to check out the video on the screen right now for more Warlock tips, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.